Hi, and welcome to Wednesday Review Office Hours. On this first part of this office hours, we're going to go with Steve Tatum to Flow Positive Behavior Change Method. And he's going to talk through that for about 10 minutes. And then we'll take a break and move to office hours questions. Steve?
Yeah. All right. Flow. This is something I came up with to, especially with Zoom, to get kids attending, because I just found there were a lot of issues going on that normally didn't happen for me. So I made a quick slogan called flow. We want flow. Well, actually, intellectual flow is when you're in a topic and you suddenly make connections. It's a cognitive position where you're making growth and all kinds of connections is flow. But there's also flow in the lesson. So I'm using the slogan flow. And the first thing I look is, are you following directions? Okay. That means if I am doing on the internet, if I'm doing echo release, not pressure release, but echo where they read, they make their struggles, I take over, I read for part of a sentence and then they echo, and then I read for another part, they echo. Or the filler release where I read and just leave out a word and they fill it in. So I kind of separate the echo from the filler. Again, that's different than pressure release, you all know, which is really my bread and butter next to a child. But on the computer, I found that the echo release, where I take over the echo, I take over, especially when we're dealing with quotes and exclamation points where prosody is involved, emotion, I will be using the echo drill. They can follow those directions, okay? And then when they fill in the blank, they follow those directions. So this helped a girl, once I started doing this, to start doing that because she wasn't. She was ignoring me on that. So she lost points. So in my session, I give a point each half of the session for F, follow directions. So on the first, did you follow? And then the second, did you follow? So she gets 2 points, okay? That changed that behavior for her for the most part. And then I get positively stroke her with the amount of points you get. All right, next is L, look like you're paying attention. Now this is coming from research at college where one class was told, look like you're paying attention, the other was told nothing. At the end, when they tested it, the group that was told, look like you're paying attention, did much better on all their tests. In other words, if you sit up straight, you nod your head and smile, more goes in than if you're not doing that. So I don't actually ever nag with kids about sitting up or any of that. I just say, Tom, you're not looking like you're paying attention. Bill, look like you're paying attention. I don't care if you're, I tell them, I don't care if you pay attention. You don't have to, just look like it. Because if you look like it, you're going to retain more. Kids get a kick out of that, by the way, when I do that with the class. They really do. So I don't care. I don't care what you're thinking about. Just look at me, nod, and smile. That's all you got to do. Okay. So that's pretty straightforward. But if a kid's turning his screen off or he's turning his audio down, he's not looking like he's paying attention. He could lose 2 points for that or gain 2 points. Does that make sense? Okay. Next is on task. This is interesting with this one kid. He reliably loses 1 to 2 points here. I'm talking about losing, but I'll talk about gaining in a minute. He'll be in the middle of reading and then he'll just stop. And I'll think he's struggling or what, and I'll go, I could say his name, but I'll say, Bob? And he'll go, what? I said, you're reading, aren't you? Oh, in the middle of the task. Or when we're obviously doing something we've always done and we're supposed to go on task, just starting there, just staying on task is huge. So that's his prime issue because he looks like he's paying attention. Okay. Tries to follow directions, but he just has trouble staying on task. Real ADD. I've never seen anything quite like this one. So, but the flow helps because I give him feedback on that. I say, right now you're losing a couple points there. Last is working hard. Working hard simply means you're getting in all the tasks we're doing, you're approaching the times or beating the times, you're approaching the accuracy or beating the accuracy of what you've been doing before. In other words, it's somewhat objective, but in reality, it's subjective. Is the kid really going after it? Can I tell by that they're getting If we're doing speed of syllables, they're getting so many right. Okay. So let's go back. We have the flow is follow directions. So real clear, whether it's pressure echo release or fill in the blank release, whether it's any directions I get, they're following it. And again, if I break it up, period 1, I give a point, and then the second period, I have half hour, or in this scale, 20 minutes, so 2 10-minute periods. I break it up. If I had a half hour, 2:15. If I had 40, it'd be 2 20 minutes. Look like you're paying attention, nod, back straight. You're on the computer, your screen's on and your volume's off. If those go off, you'll lose points. On task, wherever you're supposed to be, you stay there. Okay. So if you're supposed to be sounding out words, you sound out words, you pay attention. If it's your turn, you're not doing it, you're not on task. You lose a point. And then last, working hard. That means you're trying to beat your time, etc. Okay. Now, with the one kid who spaces, this has really been giving me concrete information. Because when we meet again, I'm going to say last time we lost 2 points on task. So you got 6 rather than 8, which is a B minus. I give grades for this class. This is how I grade my students. Okay, if they get 7 or 8 points, it's in the A. 6 to 7 is a B. 4 to 5 is a C, and then maybe a D. I don't really give Ds, but C minus, C minus, minus. But anyway, don't have to though. Other kids, we get certain points, we play a game, one of my games. Or we play a game on Friday. If you get so many points during the week, we can play a game on Friday. In other words, you can get rewards with this. And it's very concrete. Now with this girl who's playing me, it's Steve, I've shared it with her, clearly manipulates. I mean, just clearly, and I've called her on it and she'll still do it. I have her mom sit in and I have her report to her mom her points every 10 minutes. It's night and day. Night and day. Her mom wasn't there. She immediately went back to playing her games. So she wasn't scoring anything on working hard and following directions. Now it was a Friday and we'd had a good week up to that point. What she was doing, she has all her tricks, but this is what she was doing. When she was reading, like Dr. Ralph went to the island, Dr. Ralph went to the island, and when he went to there, he would start mumbling and soft. So I had to say, speak up, please. And she'd mumble. So it's all about getting my goat. Okay. So I just said, well, sorry, can't hear you. We'll see you Monday. And I broke out. Okay. Because I didn't want our week to end negative. And then I started this week as if that didn't happen and went right to our points and we were fine. But she's one, her mother being there will improve my ability to function by 50% at least. 50%. Because this is a kid who would spend most of her time thinking of ways of working around it in subtle ways. She's just really bright. Okay. Why is she doing that? I don't know. Now, if she was at my clinic, I'd probably look at putting her with another tutor. I would say it's probably that there's something about my personality or whatever she's having difficulty with, and I'd want to match her up with somebody that's not an issue with. So I might, switch her to, whoever, Jennifer or Jenny, and see how it goes. Because you can have personality issues going on with kids. But this is how things are going. So that's it. That's these little tidbits. I'll just take 5 minutes to do it, but those are it. Again, you can use this to earn points for a game. You want to be real positive. You got 8 points now. You did this, so you want to use it to positively reinforce things. But occasionally, you can point out what the problem is. Remember, most change occurs with positive reinforcement. However, positive reinforcement with a little bit of aversive produces the best results. Aversive is information about things that aren't going as well. So you're doing real well on this and this, but you've lost a bit on task. You're losing points. They need to hear that information, but it's primarily positive. Okay, cool. All right, so that's flow.